Imagine this. You close your eyes in 2025 and when you wake up, it's 2005. You're 5 years old, a child again, sitting in a living room with a boxy TV playing cartoons, no smartphones, no iPads, no streaming, just cable, CDs, and flip phones. But you, inside that tiny body, have the complete brain of your 2025 self. All the knowledge, all the memory, all the awareness. You're just 5. But your mind? 20 years ahead. You're stuck in kindergarten with crayons and nap time. But you remember Bitcoin, you remember YouTube, you remember the 2008 crash, the 2020 pandemic, Tesla, TikTok, NFTs, ChatGPT, and every billion-dollar opportunity that came and went. So what do? How do you play it safe, realistic, and slow, but still become a millionaire by the time you're in your 20s? This is your complete roadmap, from toddler to tycoon. You're 5, so let's be honest. No one's going to believe your stock tips or crypto rants. You're barely learning to tie your shoes. So your first strategy is long-term positioning. You can't execute moves yourself, but you can influence your parents subtly. Step 1. Get curious about technology. Constantly talk about computers, the internet, and games. You ask for a cheap desktop. You tell your parents, I want to learn how to build websites. It sounds cute to them, but you're planting the seeds. Step 2. Introduce them to Google and Apple early. You say things like, my teacher told me Apple is making a phone soon. You tell them, I want to learn about stocks. They laugh. But maybe they open a mock portfolio with you. That mock portfolio becomes real by 2007. Step 3. Save birthday money, Christmas money, tooth fairy coins, every spare dollar. By the time you're 10, you've saved over $1,000. And you convince your parents to open a custodial brokerage account with you. Apple, Amazon, Google, you know the list. Step 4. Start a YouTube channel as a kid. Record vlogs with your dad's camcorder. Unbox toys, talk about books or shows. It's innocent, but you know YouTube will explode. You grow up with the platform. By 2010, you're 10 years old. You've been editing for 2 years, filming for 4. Now you're making money from AdSense. You become a mini influencer before the word existed. You reinvest. You start learning Photoshop, video editing, coding, all by age 12. While your friends play, you study, not because you're boring, but because you know where it leads. At 13, you start your first blog. You call it Kid Tech Talk or something simple. You write about gadgets, iPods, the rise of mobile. You build traffic, you run Google ads, you flip your first $500 profit. Then comes 2008. The world crashes. Your parents are stressed, but you're calm. You've been telling them to keep their investments in Apple and Amazon. You tell them, this is when people get rich. They don't understand how you know, but they listen. At 15, you build your first Shopify store. You sell phone cases, t-shirts, even funny quote mugs. You run Facebook ads with your saved YouTube income. You make $3,000 in a month, then $10,000. By the time you're 16, you've saved enough to buy Bitcoin, right at the start. You buy 100 BTC for $100. You hide it. You store the keys in a notebook no one would find. In school, you keep quiet. Your grades are decent, but your mind is always racing ahead. You launch an iPhone repair side hustle. You offer website creation to local businesses. You take senior photos for kids at school. At 17, you have over $30,000 in cash. And your Bitcoin? Quietly climbing. You graduate high school in 2017. But you're already financially free. You don't go straight to college. You launch a tech YouTube channel. Within a year, you hit 100,000 subs. You review gadgets, react to launches, leak predictions. You build a community. Meanwhile, you invest in ETH. You buy early into NFTs before the first wave. You create your own art collection with a friend who's good at drawing. It sells out. You flip the earnings into real estate, a duplex in 2020. Airbnb it during the pandemic. You live in one, rent the other. Then you scale. You take profits and build your own brand, a media company. At 23, your net worth crosses $1 million. By 25, it hits $5 million. You're 25 now. You've built businesses, brands, and income streams most people dream about. But here's the truth. This isn't the end of your story. This is just the beginning of part 2. Because wealth isn't about hitting one lucky moment. It's about scaling what you already built and defending it. So now, the real challenge begins. You're young, you're ahead, you're free, but you're not untouchable. Not yet. This is the phase where people either go from rich to wealthy, or they blow it all. let's talk about how to become unshakable. Now you're investing in companies, not just stocks. You start angel investing in early startups, you fund creators, you get equity in tech tools, you start a small venture fund. Just $100,000 at first, you bet on the next generation of founders. You're no longer just reacting to trends, you're shaping them. You host events, not big ones, small, invite-only founder dinners. You record mini documentaries. You hire a team to clip and distribute your message everywhere. You become impossible to ignore. You start mentoring others, not just teaching them how to get rich, but how to protect and grow what they build. You write a second book, not about money, but about thinking, strategy, decision-making, timing. It sells 200,000 copies, it's translated into 8 languages. You've quietly built an empire, and you haven't even turned 30 yet. The point of winning a game you can't pass on. You've mastered personal freedom, time, travel, financial peace, recognition, but now the fire inside you shifts. You don't just want to win, you want to replace systems that are broken. You remember being 5, how the world treated you like a clueless child. You remember school, the outdated models, the lack of emotional intelligence, the absence of real financial literacy. So now, you do something bold. You begin building your own ecosystem. You acquire failing schools. You fund experimental education pilots. You hire engineers, neuroscientists, designers, and storytellers. You don't just teach entrepreneurship, you create frameworks for lifelong adaptability. You train kids how to think, not what to think. And they remember you for it. You begin acquiring small media companies, not the big flashy ones, the ones with depth. Long-form podcasts, micro-documentary teams, niche newsletters with high trust. You form a media network that isn't addicted to the algorithm. You're creating stories that last beyond the scroll. Your YouTube channel is now the centerpiece of a wider movement. One video sparks a community. One speech becomes a course. One interview turns into a mini-film. You're building culture now, not content. Meanwhile, your wealth has compounded, your early crypto plays have matured, your real estate has doubled, tripled, your portfolio of companies is running without you, but you're not detached. You spend 1 hour a day mentoring new founders. You filter for people who remind you of you, the quiet ones, the early builders, the long thinkers. You teach them how to master timing, how to build brand before monetizing, how to say no to noise, and how to scale without burnout. At 40, you take a step back. Not because you're tired, but because you're planning a transition. You launch a foundation. Its goal? Future-proof the next generation. You build a fund to support underestimated builders, the ones with skill, vision, and zero connections. You write your 3rd book. This one is different. It's not about money or business, it's about meaning. It becomes a bestseller, not for how loud it is, but how quietly correct it feels. You begin teaching philosophy in prisons, speaking at high schools, mentoring dropouts who just need one person to say, I believe in your timeline. You run silent retreats. You fast. You reflect. You slow down. Not because you're lost, but because you're preparing. You know a new era is coming, and you want to meet it clear and intentional. Now you're 45. People say you're lucky, They don't know your real story. They don't know you woke up as a 5-year-old in 2005, with no money, no voice, and no leverage. They don't know you played the longest game. You didn't chase trends, you built time machines, your businesses still run, your name still echoes, but you're not attached to it. You've raised 2 kids, not just to be rich, but to be aware. You give them the one thing your past self never had: guidance. You don't pressure them to be you. You teach them to own their story. You keep writing, keep building, keep planting seeds that you may never see grow. And now, here we are, the end of a trilogy, the start of a cycle. Because somewhere out there, someone just woke up in 2005, and they're 5 years old, and they're wondering if it's possible. Show them it is. Comment what your future message would be to the next version of you, and hit subscribe, because the next chapter isn't about you, it's about what you leave behind.